Don't fight who you truly are. Don't fight you. Love you. Join forces with you. Discover every part of yourself. Dive deep into the good and the bad. There should not be one part of yourself that is left unattended and uncared for. That is where your life starts to change. When you truly integrate the good, the bad, and use it in a way that makes you so powerful. And that is something somebody cannot take away from you. It does not matter how good of a person you are, how many amazing things you do in your life. You have a shadow side, aka a dark side. And it doesn't matter. This goes for everybody. Everybody has that side to them that perhaps they're not so proud of, perhaps other people will look down upon. And it's not the most proud version of ourselves, but it's there. And a very powerful thing to do is to start to integrate your shadow side and self with you. And as you go on this self-discovery and healing journey, the thing is that a lot of your dark side, shadow side, toxic traits, all of this stuff is going to come to surface and you're going to have to face it. So the thing is, the process isn't easy and nor is it pretty. Because once you start to recognize and realize these things about yourself, you almost want to be in denial, or maybe you're upset, or maybe you have regret. So you go through a time period where it's not okay that you've now realized all these things about yourself. And that's absolutely normal. But somewhere down the line comes acceptance because you'll try to work on that thing about yourself that you just can't seem to shake. Let me give you an example. When you get triggered, that is one of the best ways to really see your shadow sides, because when you're emotional and you're triggered, you're vulnerable, a side comes out that otherwise you're able to hold back and suppress and not exploit and let out there. But of course, some of the things that we do when we're highly emotional and not in our rational mind, you can consider a lot of those things your shadow side. So when someone triggers you and you react a certain way and that side comes out of you, suppose you cry or get super emotional on at the smallest things. Okay? So for you, your shadow side is being highly sensitive and emotional. And again, shadow side, by the way, isn't something bad. It's just a side of us that we have in ourselves that is not considered our most light, beautiful characteristics, okay? But they can be if you integrate them properly. So if you're getting triggered and you get emotional when you're triggered, that is showing you that you have a shadow side inside you that you perhaps want to get rid of or change or remove. Now, the problem is that maybe you're working on this for weeks, months, maybe even years. And sometimes you're able to hold back the emotion and sometimes you're not. And you're going through this process. So first you're you're super shocked that you're even this emotional all the time. You didn't realize it happens and you're noticing it time and time again. Then you try to work on it, is that step number 2, always. And you try to work on it and work on it. And sometimes you get it. You got it in the bag. But sometimes it got the best of you. And you thought you had it. You worked towards it. You were prepared in case a situation arises that's going to test you, and you fail. And that starts to make you feel messed up, because sometimes I think we think that if we work on something long enough, it'll go away, it'll get fixed. And it's not that easy. So that's where the process of accepting and integrating your shadow side, we go through a whole process before we get there. Because once you're over the shock, and then once you start to work on it and you're noticing that, holy shit, this is like not easy. Holy shit, this is really a part of who I am. Holy shit, why is it so hard to remove this? Then you start to move into an acceptance. And the acceptance happens when you know you've been putting a lot of honest work in it, but it still sometimes gets you. You still get triggered. You still have that emotional reaction or whatever it is. You really know that you honestly try to work on it to a point where you kind of start to see that, like, holy shit, this is a part of who I am. And you don't love it. You don't necessarily want it to be a part of you or your life. But there comes a time where you kind of have to almost manage it, because you know you can't get rid of it. A lot of our shadow sides, we think with all this work, we can totally get rid of it. And a lot of the times it comes down to just being able to manage it. And with the practice and with the intentional work on that thing, it gets better over time. But a lot of times it doesn't just go away. And that's where that point comes in, where you're like, you know what? I'm not going to resist this anymore. You know what? I'm going to accept it. And in fact, I'm going to embrace this side of me. And bam, that's where the integration happens. And that's a magical place, because, first of all, you've been through the process, you've been working on it, you've changed it, you've improved it. We've also come to a realization. So something that was unconscious at one time is now conscious. Now you know you do it, you're aware of it, you've been working on it, and you also see that you're not perfect at it. And now you're gonna accept it, consciously accept this is a part of me and who I am. And remember, they're not all shadow sides are a bad thing, but I guess the one important thing is to make sure you're not doing it at the expense of somebody else or hurting somebody else. So back to that example about your emotional reactions. Suppose it's just shedding quiet tears, that's one thing. But if you're starting to throw shit around, hurting people, like, that is another type of emotional reaction that you need to work on that. Because if you're still hurting people with your shadow sides, that's not going to work. So you got to get your shadow side to a point where it's not negatively affecting and hurting people, like, badly. So suppose you're in a relationship, or I don't know, a mother-daughter relationship, siblings, something like that. And, sometimes your shadow side gets the best of you, and you apologize, you explain. And the thing is that you accept that, shit, I fucked up again, or whatever it is, because you've been working so hard, but yet still you reacted a certain way. The thing is, number one, the people around you, I mean, the most understanding people perhaps will stick around, but it's not fair. So you really got to try to get it to a point where your shadow sides aren't leaking onto other people, you know? And number two, be very aware of when that part of you is, surfacing, and what is the best thing to do in that moment. So if you feel yourself about to react trigger and you know you got to walk away, walk away. So that work now becomes that every time this happens, I have to walk, I have to walk, I have to. It's not about I have to do this, that. It's just one thing you got to work on is walking away because you know that is already going to prevent you from leaking this onto somebody else in a negative way that can, affect relationships and things that you don't want to at this point in your life like cause further problems or destroy special things around you, especially people that care for you. So now putting all of that on somebody else is not okay. So you got to really learn your technique and what works for you when you're in a moment of trigger and you're emotionally charged, how you're going to right away zap that and manage it. So always have that tool ready because you can't go around putting that on other people. There's so many benefits of embracing and integrating your shadow side. You, because a lot of our shadow sides come from things that we were doing in our younger days, the way we were brought up, or just the way we were naturally are born, a lot of it is in tune with our natural rhythm of how we are, who we are, our characteristics. And so when you start to integrate your shadow side, you also start to live in a natural rhythm to who you really are. And you're not resisting. Because when we're in that phase of we're determined to fix this and make sure we cut this part of ourselves that we don't like, you're in such a resistance way of living. And you're just going against what's naturally your natural flow. So when you start to integrate your shadow side, you also get the freedom of being able to live in just a natural flow of how you are and not trying to become somebody else that you know is out of reach and that's not who you are. So again, as long as you're not affecting and doing it at the expense of other people, it's a beautiful thing when you start to live in this ease of being who you are and accepting it and managing it in a healthy way, removing what you need to, making the changes and working on it, but also just letting it be a part of you and being okay with that and accepting it. And because at the end of the day, the side of you is in you for a reason, right? And a part of self love is also loving that part of you, right? If you have kids, you have siblings, parents, like you don't love every side of them, right? You still love them. That's the same thing. Our shadow sides also need love. They need to be acknowledged. They need to be also put in place and also managed and also treated with tough love if needed. And so you really need to start to treat your shadow side like a loved one, on the side of them that is out of your control, you can't change, but you love them enough to accept it and to work on it with them. It's really important to also look at your shadow side, like a part of you that you just can't deny and leave it hanging. And it's important enough for you to work on and make it as beautiful as you can. And a lot of the shadow sides that we have, if you really think about it and go back to your, school days, your childhood, perhaps you were made fun of that side of you, right? So it's a part of you that you shut off, you deny. Once you start to integrate and accept your shadow side, that's the other beautiful thing is something that was once thought of as different or weird, now you can fully accept. There's such a beauty in that because other people or whatever part of your life or situations got so much in your mind, in your ear, that you started to deny and refuse a part of yourself. that now you can start to love again, love it back to life, really take care of this shadow side and dark side of yourself. But really knowing that that's a part of you that makes you unique. That's who you are. And accepting that, no longer running away from that, no longer thinking that something's wrong with you. There's that gift that you give yourself when you integrate your shadow side, because a part of you that was unloved and just sitting there, being made fun of, and you allowing it to, and you being embarrassed about that side of you, can now be a part of you that sets you apart from other people. And maybe a part of you that needs extra love and attention because you ignored it for so long. So it's a beautiful thing to see when something that's been dormant for so long, suddenly you give it life and you take care of it. And I'm not saying you put it on a pedestal, but what I'm saying is you give it the attention it needs, you give it the work that it needs, and you give it the voice that it needs, because at the end of the day, something's trying to scream out at you, right? It's a shadow side, there's something there. So to really look at that and not deny it and ignore it is life-changing. Just embracing it and not giving a shit what other people think about it anymore. The freedom in that is a whole other thing. You get confidence, because now that you truly embrace it, what is anybody else going to say about it? You're not allowed to say anything else about it. That's a part of you. And so that's another thing that comes out of this. Really, really owning it and not having other people control what you think about yourself and parts of yourself. Another beautiful result and benefit of integrating your shadow side is that it just aligns you closer and closer to who you really are and your authentic, true self. And when you start to live from that place of self-acceptance, that vibrancy, and people see it, they sense it, and you are just in that flow. You love yourself. You love the great things about yourself. You love the shadows things about yourself. You work on it. You are clear as a whistle and your vibration is high and you're not hiding and you're not playing that game of people play in life that lowers your vibration. When you're embracing it and integrating your shadow sides like that, holy shit, you're a powerful beast, okay? You really put out an energy that is a magnet for abundance, a magnet for miracles. I'm telling you, just like God loves all of us, whether this side, that side, it's unconditional love. When you start to unconditionally love yourself and you live in your authenticity, you're a magnet for blessings. And you will attract that type of beautiful energy in your life. So the game changes with the integration of your shadow side. And so it's not an easy path. It's not an easy journey by any means, but it is like diving into a novel. And after that book is done, you are a changed person and you feel different. You move different. There's a change inside of you. That acceptance, because everybody wants to deny the dark side of themselves, the not so great side, right? A majority of people, right? Don't they just deny and deny? They don't want to admit it. They're embarrassed when something comes to light that shit took them out of character. People literally like dive and duck from their shadow sides as like it's not them. And I get it. Everybody wants to be seen in a great light. But that's why there's so much power in accepting it. Really, really accepting every part inside of you and then using your power within to live this life. Game changer. Don't fight who you truly are. Don't fight you. Love you. Join forces with you. Discover every part of yourself. Dive deep into the good and the bad. There should not be one part of yourself that is left unattended and uncared for. That is where your life starts to change. When you truly integrate the good, the bad, and use it in a way that makes you so powerful. And that is something somebody cannot take away from you. When somebody says something negative, own it. Yeah, that's true. But whatever it is, because you know yourself. The more you know yourself, the less you're going to allow other people that don't even know you, barely know themselves, tell them about who you are. No, you're going to tell people who you are if you need to. Because when you're that powerful, you don't even need to speak. People see. People see your presence, your energy really says a lot about the type of work you've done on yourself, how you speak, how you carry yourself. Utilize that. Step into that femme fatale, motherfucking dark shadow side self of yours and use it to your advantage in this life because your quality of life will change. You can live freely and accept yourself in every single way. And people will respect that and you'll inspire other people to do the same. Stop being embarrassed about parts of yourself and things about you that aren't normal. No, around here, we accept it, we love it, we work on them, and we bring them to light. We put parts of ourselves on pedestals around here. Loud and proud and unapologetically accepting it. As hard as it is to look at, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I got to show that to myself, nobody else. I'm doing this for me. Thank you for all the love and support. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.